previously on.
People who are most successful with these get-rich-quick schemes are the ones that are very charismatic,
Yes.
a rich lifestyle, or
Yeah.
I was able to get here,
Right.
and with
Stories,
Yes.
testimonials. AI is the new surge of like AI is going to breed a lot of millionaires. A lot of people are pouring lots of money into the internet and they want to be the next big thing. AI to me is the new surge. Dropshipping is not what it used to be. It's very, very competitive now. Very nice to connect with like-minded individuals. And since I've done that, I have exploded my knowledge and every assumption I've ever had has been validated.
they think that they're going to be able to just jump on that trend and be
Yeah.
able to do the same thing, and that's just not the case.
Not the case. Dropshipping is one of those things. I think it's a thing of the past unless you really can find a niche within a certain product set.
With a little health and a little wealth and a lot of love, that's the life that we live. Suits and scrubs.
Welcome back, everybody, to a continuation episode of Suits and Scrubs, where we talk about a little bit of health
A load of wealth
and a lot of love. So this is a special continuation episode of our wealth segment, where we will continue on talking about get-rich-quick schemes exposed. So I am your host,
Dun, dun.
Emily MD. I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Zachary SVP. He is our finance guy. He has reached his co-spire number. He has managed over $1 billion to date. And he is going to give us a little update, or not necessarily update, but a little summary of what we discussed during our last episode. And we will continue on talking about these get-rich-quick schemes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Em. So it's Emily MD. She's up board certified internal and MBC medicine. She's exploring her functional and aesthetics. She believes that quality information resides in listening to our podcast and other sources. Just kidding. But no, the reason why we're doing this is to get information out there so that way you make better informed decisions and ask better questions. We're very, very passionate about that in our field. So we just want to help people and hopefully this is helpful. So quick recap. So we talked about people as far as getting susceptible to get-rich-quick schemes. We went through that in great details. Some folks, financial literacy, the exclusivity, the manipulation tactics that they use. We also talked about, how people get roped in. And so there's different hesitations, like it's too good to be true, which it probably is. Or they use like emotional manipulation about getting into your psyche, or they'll ping off you and use pressures and testimonials. Exclusivity is a big one that they use, to be on the lookout for that. Only 10 people left can join at this price. Or, hey, if you want to join now, half off. You've been following me all along. Hey, it's half off, so go ahead and get it. And we reviewed 3 of them, which was, I wanted to start with the first one, which is not so relevant today, but it is relevant, which is internet millionaires. So that was the first one. It was a get-rich-quick scheme. We did refactions on Jeff Bezos, and we kind of broke it down based upon that. The second was cryptocurrency. So anyone out there, it's very similar. That's why I put them together. If you look at the whole internet and cryptocurrency, well, it's supposed to go the same way. It's the kind of the same process that's happening, right? We did one specifically on Dogecoin. Some of my friends are Dogecoin holders. So if you did miss that, definitely jump into that last time. I believe that the cryptocurrency is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a long-term hold, in my opinion. But these alternative coins, I call them, they kind of are. You got to really dig into that and understand what's up there. The last one that we did was social media influencing.
That's a big one.
It is. And I see ads all the time. Like, hey, we can get you 10,000 followers. We can do 100,000 followers. We can do this. We can do that. No, it's probably not. It's a long haul.
Yeah, and you can talk about the repetitiveness of it all, or the algorithms on social
That's right.
media. Once
And they change.
once you click on something, it's like you're inundated with that same information that you're interested in.
Right. The algorithms do change quite a bit based upon Instagrams, and you may do, like, some person only does Facebook. He says very, very well on Facebook. One person does Instagram. One of my great influencers, who's a content creator who helps other content creators. That's her whole mission. She said, I'm not doing Instagram anymore. I'm doing YouTube. I didn't really talk about that in the last social media influencing. And So she's really, really big on that. And so as it gets rich quick, no, but yes, you can, but it's a long game. It's consistency. We do have some friends of ours who got really, really lucky and just kind of, I wouldn't say blew up overnight, but definitely had a strategy in place and jumped on the TikTok before it was the thing back in 2019, especially for someone at that professional level, and saw a lot of success from it. Those are the kind of things that you do need to look out for. So again, it's not a get rich quick. And then, she also has to continuously, produce valuable content with some of his lifestyle, some of his entertainment, that sort of thing. So just kind of giving you a recap of our last ones.
Other news from our last episode, Zach spoke at his own risk, and
Jeez,
he had to spin the wheel of punishment. And he landed on Songbird, so he's going to have to sing us a little 30-second ditty.
I'm about to lose every bit of credibility and followership I have here. But I'll let you know when I'm done. Like, it won't be like, it probably longer, it'll be right at 30 seconds. Okay?
Okay. Bring your karaoke skills.
Yeah, so last time I did A Whole New World. I'm more confident in that because it's something, it's Disney. You can't mess that up. So this is While Still Got the Time, Darius Rucker. I'm not the best singer, so apologies in advance. You were sweating bullets when you did this last time. I'm not sweating. I'm just like...
I'm still wearing my dragon costume from last time.
Dragon costume.
So.
Okay. 39 candles burning out on the cake, each representing a million mistakes. The last one still burns. There's a wish I can make. This time I'm getting it right. So I close my eyes and I take a deep breath, and I promise myself, in the time I had left, I'm gonna work like I don't need the money. I'm gonna laugh like I'm not afraid to cry. I'm gonna dance like nobody's watching. I'm gonna love while I still got the time. That's it.
A little bit of Darius Rucker.
A little bit of Darius Rucker. All right, now I have to reformat myself for this whole episode.
And you're not going to get rich quick selling your albums. That's not what this segment is about.
That's not true at all. It had a little bit of altitude. I felt like I could have actually been okay.
So, shall we move into the remainder of our...
Yes, we shall.
Get rich quick schemes exposed.
Yes, exposed. Dun, dun, dun.
So, I can play the next refactions.
I can't wait for this. This is one of my favorites.
Okay.
People are becoming millionaires dropshipping. So I decided to try it myself because who doesn't want to be a millionaire? So I got to work and started looking for a winning product all over the internet. And after searching for hours, I found a skin scrubber that removes blackheads for only $14. And I figured this would be a good product because it solves a problem, has good profit margins, and it's honestly something people would impulse buy on TikTok. So I made the website, spent $200 on ads, and documented the whole process of creating this dropshipping store. And if you want to see how I did it and how it went, the full video is on my channel. People are becoming...
Well, I'm gonna save y'all time. I watched her channel and she broke everything down from costs to time. And she lost about $400 all said and done, including a website and all of that, marketing, all of that. I could talk about this one for a while. In fact, I'm going to, because drop shipping is one of those things. I think it's a thing of the past unless you really can find a niche within a certain product set. So drop shipping, so the model's like this. If you don't know what drop shipping is, I think people do. Do you know what drop shipping is?
Not specifically, so give us a little.
Yeah, so it's where you buy an item from a third party and then you sell it directly to the customer. And a lot of people just go on Alibaba where they buy tons and tons and tons of, and they find a supplier and they build this. Arguably, the Kardashians are drop shippers. They find a product. Well, you know, some not, some yes. Some products they have are drop shipping. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry to bust that bubble.
This is maybe my understanding of it, and you can tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
but
yes,
if
let's do that.
if you think about, we've discussed before that we're big Real Housewives of Atlanta fans, and the She by Sheree,
She by Sheen.
everybody blames her for using
Yes.
Is that an example?
That
or
is, I sorry, Sheree, I love you, but it is a example of drop shipping. You know, I think the difference between that and like some of her products are drop shipping, some of them are not.
Yeah.
So some of the things that she has are third parties.
It's a little mix and match.
Yeah, it is. But some of them are custom design, and then she went to a supplier. And that's the difference between drop shipping and then all that.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much what drop shipping. What's so attractive about drop shipping is this low overhead. So it's one of the most common sources, and it's just in time. So if someone orders, it goes to a third party and they fulfill that order where you don't have to worry about inventory. So if you think about inventory, it's a lot of cost, overhead, it's a lot of like returns, all of that. It's all handled through a third party.
And I guess that's why we see, especially if you're looking for clothing online, you see a lot of the same exact product, maybe branded differently and sold by a bunch of different companies.
That's actually true. And I think a friend of mine actually was telling me about the shirt I'm wearing. I'm not going to drop the name because we're not affiliated with them, but they said the shirt that you're wearing and you're buying, you can buy that here for $4. And I saw it. I was like, damn, he's right. It's like $30-$40 for this shirt. It's for the marketing. The marketing was good. I'm not gonna lie. The marketing got me. I've been watching their videos for a while. I'm like, oh, that's funny. That's funny. So you got to really make sure you stand out in the marketing. So some of the product ranges, it makes it flexible. So that way you can launch a new product and in that product set. So the versatility of products is easy to launch based upon that drop shipping. And I'm going to give you one example. Actually, I'll give an example now. One of my friends have done, well, no, let me hold that because that exposes the reward. So let me just move on. So the supplier reliance. So it's highly dependent on third-party suppliers. So that's something to really think about. Drop shipping is not what it used to be. It's very, very competitive now. I don't have it with me, but I was going to show you guys. My cell phone, I have a case. I spent $8, $9 on Amazon. And then I got advertised when I was looking for new cases on the exact same case for $50, $60. It's the same damn case. You know, I bought it on Amazon for $8, a lot cheaper. So sometimes there are customer service challenges. You have no control over the shipping and handling processes. So if you put your whole brand behind something and you have a third party fulfillment, you are subject to them ultimately fulfilling those orders in a timely manner. And I've seen comments in some of the dropshipping businesses. I'll look in the comments. I'm very interested in this because I looked really heavily into this. And it's like, I still haven't got my order. And you don't know what's real, what's not. But any negative comment is going to knock you, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, I never trust testimonials on their website.
You always have to look at a third-party reviewer.
Yes. Like go to a third-party reviewer. That's always very, very important. So some of the marketing and SEO stuff, I think that's important to talk about too. You have to make sure that you rely heavily on the marketing. In fact, this is where most of the dollars are spent for drop shipping businesses. And so I think that's an important, making sure that you have budget for that. And I really want to apply this to an example, but I do want to supply that example at the end. There's different e-commerce platforms. I think the most popular is Shopify. There's a global reach that allows sellers to reach a bigger audience. And then there are some legal and ethical considerations. And then, you know, for example, if you sell a product in Dubai, what's the tax advantages of that? Or what's the tax issues with that? So in summary, I want to let's dive deep into this, and let's just pause there. Thank you. So in summary, I have a friend of mine who has done 2 drop shipping businesses, and he's done this for a combined total of 6-7 years. First business, I didn't get. Second business, very good, very good. However, he has not been profitable. He's over $250,000. He's done $250,000 in 2-3 months. Like he's done substantial amount of sales in this business, and he's very good marketing. Like I look at his videos; they're fantastic. They really are. And he solves a specific problem. Very, very good.
So where's the issue with the profit margin?
The issue is this: it's too expensive to make, and he's spending half the money on marketing and advertising. Listen, y'all, Facebook, Instagram, Meta, TikTok, it's not cheap advertising on these. It's probably the most effective for this business. But also too, what I tell people is consumers are getting a lot smarter in drop shipping. They're looking at products and services. In fact, I even told them this, looking at products and services online. And the funny thing is they're looking at it as, oh, wow, it's cool. They go to Amazon and buy it for half the price.
Yeah.
It's the same damn product. It is. And I'm seeing the comments on this, and it's like hundreds of comments. It means hundreds of orders. And they're saying the brand's name, his brand's name, so and so, blah blah blah. It's awesome. So and so. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I look through it, and he's not even affiliated with this other company.
So they're buying from someone else, thinking that it's his brand.
It's the same. It's the same product though, because it's a drop shipping business.
Yeah.
So consumers are getting really, really smart with research, and I think drop shipping is not a get rich quick scheme. And again, like I try to go through all the practicing. That influencer that was talking about drop shipping, she went through the whole process. It's not easy. So a lot of people are selling this. I think it's one of the things of the past. Unless you're really good. If you're really good at marketing, if you're really good at building an audience and in the long game, is it get rich quick scheme? No, it's not. It's a long haul. You're not going to get rich overnight. It's just not. It's just not. So yeah, that's one of my more ones I really wanted to share on the podcast or the show today. Maybe we should call it the show versus the podcast. Okay, so the next one is multi-level marketing. We hit this so hard, and this is one of my favorite reactions. I'm loving this reaction. It's one of my favorite gurus, Dave Ramsey.
We play a lot of his clips.
We do
on here.
I know it's funny because in our pre-launch party, a lot of people took issue with my Dave Ramsey comment, which I told people I did it better, and I did do it better. I didn't do it better than Dave Ramsey. Obviously, he's richer than me. He has a bigger audience than I ever will have, but I accelerated my wealth building significantly following my own principles because it was too slow for me. It's too conservative.
Building off of his initial teachings.
Foundations. It's like what you're doing in med school. Like now you're moving into his functional medicine.
Yeah. So here we go.
You saw yourself as wealthy doing multi-level. You don't accidentally part-time turn a multi-level thing into $1 million.
Right.
It doesn't just like you show up and you go get 3 of your friends in this thing and it turns into $1 million. It's 7 to 10 years of very hard work as a master recruiter, trainer, and manager of salespeople. Those are the people that make 7 figures. I've got several friends that make $1 million a year. And I've got like 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000 people that I've met that were in it for 3 months and are not anymore. Okay? But I actually know more than 5 people in network marketing that have made $1 million a year at one time or another. But they didn't do that part-time, and they didn't do that part-time for 3 years and then full-time for 2 years. They became professional motivators, professional sales trainers, professional managers and hirers of salespeople, and they have rhino thick skin because people come and go every 20 minutes.
Yeah, so people come and go every 2. So I love his reaction on this. He hit the jewel on the crown. Emily, based upon that reaction, is it a get rich quick?
It's not. It's not quick at all, it sounds like.
It's not. It's not. Don't let anyone tell you it's a get rich quick. Multi-level marketing, it is not get rich quick. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. And so
tell us more. Tell us more.
This is one of the ones I'm most passionate about because I have been bombarded. Let me tell you this. When I was struggling back in 2008, when the worst economic crisis of the time, I had my first company as an entrepreneur at 19 years old, and I had to go back and eat a piece of humble pie. And I worked for a bank for 20 hours, and then I went to wait tables again. After I thought I was just going to be this big, I have my own company. Anyway, it's made me who I am today, though. And let me finish the story. First day I went in there, the general manager at the time, as soon as I walked through the door, had some piece of paper, says, Zach, come here. And I said, and he's more of a jokester. I don't take offense to it. He looked at me and he pointed to the ground, pick that up. And I picked it up. And I was like, damn, I am back here. That's what I felt. And that's what I felt. And it's just, gosh, I just want to take a moment to reminisce on that. Like, that's taking a big piece of humble pie. Here I'm talking to Mall of America, Coca-Cola's clients, working with somebody who had a second in command who walked away from that job to do this business with me. Entrepreneur at like 55, 60. That's why I don't want to wait that long to be an entrepreneur. We talk about that. Anyway, I don't want to reminisce that too long, but I shared that with you because here's the point. I applied for a job because I decided that I really want to get in finances and become more financial literate. And what I did was I applied for a job. It was on Craigslist, which should have been my first red flag. But guys, you got to remember, back in 2008, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah. And it was more like the Facebook marketplace.
It was. And so, before,
wasn't as shady back
before
then.
you say, you should have known better. Anyway, I walked in there and they called me and it says, I want to tell you about my financial company that's expanding in Charlotte. and we're looking for the next person. We're going to help. You can help people with their financials and their investments. So, oh my God, this is what I want to do with my life. And I'm doing it, 10 years, 15 years later. I'm doing it now. This is living out a dream for me. It really is. Moving on. And I sat in there and a whole bunch of people, and it was a whole damn multi-level marketing. It was getting people to invest in the stock market. The product was actually pretty good. And the guy presenting was like, it was his company. He was like, well, I golfed on Monday, I golfed on Tuesday, I golfed on Wednesday. That's because all the minions are doing all the damn work for you.
Yeah, it depends on what level you are in that multi-level marketing scheme.
That's right. And so we're sitting there and we listened to that. He was the owner and he was very taken by me. I don't know, I might just have a charismatic personality or something. And I've been white gloved in every multi-level marketing presentation. Like they'll make a beeline for me. Maybe everyone feels that way. Anyway, and so I did some research. So multi-level marketing, just to kind of break it down, it's just what it sounds like. It's like a pyramid kind of thing. And they focus on a lot of recruiting and then product and services. They have a product and service they push, but it's more about recruiting and getting those product and services. And what it does is if you recruit more people, you make more money, right? And so that's how it kind of works. It's a huge, huge push on the recruitment focus. And so this is what I tell guys. If you want to get into multi-level marketing, as Dave said, you can make millions of dollars a year. Are you extroverted? Do you have rhino thick skin? Most people who join, within 3 months, they quit. Is that you?
I would not be a good multi-level marketing
No, ma'am.
person.
And most people like I'm actually good at sales, but I don't love it unless it's something I'm passionate about. Like this, I'm passionate about. I would sell this all day. Like I'm not selling, I'm educating, So earnings and commissions. So usually you make money from commissions earned on sales based upon the product and services. And then sometimes they offer rewards in big programs. And so recently in my network, I'm like someone who got the Mercedes. And I'm looking at, and they have this huge productions, and he has all these plaques and these gold things. And it's pretty, and he's nicely dressed, and he posts like twice, 3 times a day. And he's like, get this money, And this other person I know who's a travel consultant does the same thing. The other people used to just pink drink or whatever. I'm doing my pink drink. And it was interesting is this person is really not a health expert, and it's funny because I was talking to one of my friends about this and I saw it. It was a girl, and she was telling me, and she cussed her out, said, and pardon my French, but she says, well, don't fucking talk to me then, or something like that. And then like 2 years later, it was like, hey, boss babe, let me share this with you. Would you like this, boss babe? And she's like, don't boss babe me. I haven't even talked to you in years. And last time you talked to me, that was go fuck off.
That's like, it's the Facebook friends that all of a sudden friend request you because some of these people, I'm like, I've never even had a conversation with this person. We have mutual friends, and sometimes I feel like that's what they do is they look on Facebook and they just friend request everyone that might be a mutual friend, or even some people that like coworkers that I never worked with in residency, but now they've got this MLM scheme and they want to get as many people to sip the Kool-Aid, to buy whatever they're selling.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of controversy and criticism around multi-level marketing. Everyone hears of a Ponzi scheme. I wish I did a lot more research on this about a Ponzi, but that's like one of the more detrimental. It was illegal. Yeah. If you think about Bernie Madoff, I mean, he was like Ponzi scheme, like a mofo, like got away with it for years and years. I watched this whole documentary. It was very fascinating stuff. It was a multi-level marketing. So the biggest multi-level marketing out there is Amway. Sorry. So Amway is like a $8 billion company. And then Herbalife is actually 2 or 3. And they specialize in herbs and products and services and things like that. So I
remember Mona V. I remember the Mona V. It's not even around. I don't think it's around anymore. But sometimes they suck people in who actually swear by their product.
Right. But then that's the thing. It can't be done.
But then they aren't high enough in that pyramid.
Right.
To where they might believe in the product, but they're not getting the return on investment. They're buying all these cases of Mona V SIE wine, and they're just not able to make any money with it.
I can't believe this popped in my head. So this was back in 2008 when I did my Amway presentation. Amway. I always say that. Amway. And I was sitting there, and They said that, listen, let's say you don't want to recruit and push things. You will make money off your own purchases. So if you're going to buy paper towels, if you're going to do this, you're going to do that. I don't know if they sell paper towels. I'm just making up. Groceries. I don't know if they sell it either.
I don't think I even know what Amway is.
Yeah. But if you buy product and services you use anyway, then you get a check because of people buying those products and services. That's why it's the most successful. Arbonne. So I have a fun story about that. So somebody on the plane coming back from my first bachelor party asked me to trade seats with them to sit with their wife. I'm like, sure. And I sat next to a woman and her baby, which wasn't the best, but I was hungry and hungover and they fed me. So I'm like, okay, great. And if you feed me, you're a friend of mine. You know, I didn't get this big by just sitting there, right? And I remember we were just having a conversation, and lo and behold, there's a whole Arbonne conference in Vegas, this whole thing. And I was just like, oh, okay. And they were like, well, we just got back from Arbonne. I said, what is Arbonne? And they're talking about, I said, cool. And we're talking about men's skincare. I said, oh yeah. So like, you know, some of my friends are talking about getting rid of like the bags underneath their eyes or the wrinkles in their necks. Like, and she's like, oh my God, I have something for you. And she pulled out this big old book and whoop. And she's like, and this other girl was like next to her friend. And she was like, well, and she's like, I don't have a business card. And the girl was like, well, you can write on the back. And I'm like thinking in my head, like, oh shit, am I going to talk about Arbonne? And yeah.
The entire plane flight.
The next 3 hours. 3 hours later, talking about Arbonne. And I was hungover and tired coming back from Vegas. Not fun. I should never ask for snacks. They had the best snacks though. It wasn't worth it.
It was probably from the conference.
It probably was from the conference. No. She was a mom. She was like, you know, taken care of. And so just something to think about. We talked about this a lot in the last episode. It's the psychological and social. They're very good at what they do, guys. And every hesitation, every roadblock, everything you say to them, you know, you can just say, I'm not interested. Like I'm not interested. Stop. I'm not interested. You can't do that, right? And so those are the things just kind of to think about. It is highly saturated. Like once you're good at developing a multi-level marketing and you recruit somebody, and let's say you just hit a jackpot. Like I recruit this person at McDonald's. If you remember my thing I said, but this guy was trying to recruit Winthrop students when I was back in Winthrop. And the thing is, he was so focused on recruiting, he didn't finish his other recruiting. And he says, well, call 5 people. And my old roommate called me. I'm like, I ain't messing with that. Like, what are you doing? Don't buy me lunch at McDonald's. If you're going to sell me something, take me to Ruth's Chris or something. Come on. You know, anyway, so that's something, you know, also to think about. I could go on and on about multi-level marketing, but I think I hit on the main points. So we talk about Amway, we talk about Avon. I don't want to say that next one because the person will know who I'm talking about. Arbonne, and then Herbalife is one I was talking about. Herbalife is actually very popular. It's like $4.5 billion company. You know, I told Emily, I thought about in the future, like if we just do product and services, like we wouldn't do multi-level marketing, we'd do like more like Candy's doing, like with bedroom candy. Like I thought that was such a good way, you know, to advertise your products and services in a very, like Stella and Dot's a good one. Like Stella and Dot, I don't think it's multi-level marketing. It could be, but they have like these products where it's like necklaces and things like that. I remember watching Undercover CEO. I'm like, wow.
Sometimes I feel like the multi-level marketing has transitioned into the influencer marketing where you don't have to.
That's right.
Like you get influencers that already have that following to advertise your brand.
That's really big.
Instead of the MLM
right
type of.
That's right. And a
structure.
lot of it's micro-influencing. And a lot of things like with micro-influencers, I think less than 50,000 followers, and then 50,000 plus, maybe like less than 1 million is micro. I don't know how that's defined. Their engagement is really, really high because they're still kind of small town. You know, they really are.
Yeah.
So that's something to
word
think
of
about.
mouth and trust in people is big too.
Yeah. So that is 5 of 6. My last one is one of my favorites, and I've X'd out every single one of them. These are not get rich quick schemes. So does Zachary SVP recommend anything of these? Well,
all right, let's play the last one.
Okay, I'm going to show you exactly how we clean garbage cans with this awesome truck here at Bin Blasters. It's summer, all the cans have grass clippings in them, and that stuff gets everywhere. So I'm going to start off by spraying all that off, getting those lids nice and clean, getting anything excess off the tops of the cans before we flip them upside down and let the truck do its job. Again, this is 200-degree water, 3,500 PSI. We got so much pressure going into these bins, nothing stands a chance. I'm gonna spray the outsides because they're always dirty and I got some time. Then I'm gonna lower them back down and work on the outsides again because all that grass, that's been spraying around like crazy and getting on everything. Get those lids really clean. I know they don't stink, but they're still dirty, so I'm gonna clean them. Spritz them with something that smells good. Here's the big reveal. Now remember what they looked like before? Ooh, there you go again.
All right.
Those are some clean trash cans.
There you see, they done sucked your ass in. So, guys, number 6 is side hustle millionaires. This is one of my favorites. I think if all the ones that I'm talking about now, side hustle is where I think people should focus on. So, in this in particular one, I'll never forget it. Like a year ago, I was watching YouTube. Some prominent YouTube was talking about, well, you can make a bunch of money, blah, 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 blah. You can. And so, if you do dirty jobs like this, who doesn't want a good smelling
Talk
trash
about
can?
finding a niche, by the way, because that is something that you don't see every day.
Right. And nobody wants to do it.
Especially in the middle of the summertime. Have you
Yeah.
ever, if you have like raw chicken cuts and salmon juice and
Right.
that gets in your trash can, and
Right.
every time you open up that trash can, it stinks.
It stinks, but also it's not even that. It's the big
The
stuff.
bugs, the insects that are
And
attracted.
then the raccoons, and possums, and all that, like diseases and all. So yeah, it's brilliant. In fact, remember I said earlier, guys, I'm a practitioner. I carefully curated and picked these 6 because I know some people who do it. I do, and that's what I don't want to be like. This is the show you come to. You're not going to get someone talking about and they're sidelined. Or I know people who do these things. So I knew somebody who does it specifically that makes $6,000 in a day, just cleaning out trash cans. And now that dude has like the full thing. Now you can set yourself up and buy certain equipment and clean those bad boys. Go to an affluent neighborhood or maybe a middle neighborhood and get them done. Hell, I probably even pay for it here. I can tell you where I live. But no, that's something to think about. So side hustle. So I want to focus on like dirty jobs. That was one. But side hustle could be anything. I read an article about an Etsy who made $250,000 in his first week of being Etsy. He quit his job. That's what he's doing full time. I know someone who started a side hustle while working at the bank with me, who is a coaching business, and now she hosts conference every single year. Very successful. Makes $250,000 to $400,000 a year doing that. You know, she posted on Instagram, so I hope she's comfortable with me saying that. This right here is a side hustle for us. More of a hobby and a passion for us, and you know we'll kind of see where it goes. But yeah, and I think once you find your niche, low competition, you get recurring revenue, then word of mouth. There's all kind of things that you can do with this side hustle. So this is, to me, this is not a get rich quick scheme. This is probably your best chance, in my opinion, out of all the 6 that I named. And I did some pros and cons with each individual, and some of them are like you can make it, and some of them you know it's not so good. But there's also, you got to think about your operational efficiency, your barrier to entry. Like this guy has a massive trucks and just crushes the game. There's people out there. Again, I didn't finish that thought. I watched a YouTube video almost a year ago on this specific business, and he was talking about like how much it costs a few $100s, and you just go in there and you just hook up and clean it and all the other stuff, and you're done. And you just, you know, you collect your check and you go.
Yeah. And you always talk about like what's your unfair advantage? Like if you have a family member who leaves you a food truck or
Right.
leaves you a piece of equipment or a piece of property that you can turn into something as a side hustle. Like that's
Or if you have
that's huge.
a family member who is very prominent in your community. I know 2 people. One is, you know, your god sister who started a chiropractor in her small town, but because she knows her dad is so well known and just.
But she is well known too.
But she is too,
Yeah,
right? That's
the-
her unfair advantage. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's him or her. I just think that's an unfair advantage.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
same thing with our video editor. Our video editor, he works in an affluent barbershop he started, and he has an unfair advantage. I tell him this all the time. Your unfair advantage is your networking because you know you're getting that grandfathered in, and that's
His dad,
brilliant. Yeah, you should keep doing that. Lean into your unfair advantage, and so yeah, that's the 6. That's the 6. So I have some follow up. To close this episode out, I got some questions to close it out.
So in the world of get rich quick schemes, there are influencers, and I feel like we've kind of talked about this already, but there are influencers that present themselves in a certain way to get people on board. So tell us a little bit
Yeah.
more about how they present themselves.
Yeah, so we hit this home on the last episode, but just to recap this, a lot of them are very consistent. They'll post constantly. They'll show their lavish lifestyle. They have a lot of perceived success. They'll have perceived authority in that field, a lot of charisma, a lot of persuasiveness. I even see some people on there talking about, we don't waste my time with this. If you want to fix your credit score, but you keep coming to me and say you're ready, but then I ask you to pay $300 and you're not, don't come at me, don't at me. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, that's one way to sell. They offer mentorship and support, and then social proof and testimonies. I think testimonials are the best. Go outside, guys. Go outside testimonies. Don't go to their website. Of course, they're going to say everything's good. Go to like Better Business Bureau. That's a big thing that I recommend with anything that's anyone's trying to get you involved in that. So yeah.
So what happens once you get into that situation where you realize the oh shit moment,
Oh, shit.
where you realize you're in that get rich quick scheme and it's not what it panned out to be.
It's not rich. It's not quick.
It's not quick, and you're not rich.
You're not like rich. You have to minimize your financial losses. So at that point, it's just better just to cut ties and move on. If you're not seeing the success that you want to get out of it, if you believe in the product and service, I do think that you can lean into that a lot. I think that's important. That's the biggest thing. Is just cut your losses and move on. I mean, it's really nothing you can do in that scenario. I always believe that every lesson is learned. You learn the most lessons the hard way. You learn more through your failures than your successes, in my opinion. Think about when you're younger and you touch the stove and you get burned. You ain't gonna do that shit again. You know what I mean? Same thing. It's the same thing.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, but also like take away something valuable. I tell this to people who work for me in many years, and this job, this organization, just like anyone else, we're paying you for the service that you're providing. You better be getting something out of us too. Whether it's a skill set or learn something. Maybe you didn't know something before. Maybe you can learn that and apply it. And so I think that that's the best way to outline that and then to kind of move on, we're watching cult stuff and we're watching this whole, the troubled teen industry. Paris Hilton's a big advocate for that. And they manipulated the parents to believing they got something and said, you got to finish the program. And then they manipulated the teens. They kept them separate, but they weren't qualified. And no one's going to say, hey, I was scammed out of $72,000 for tuition that I paid that did not help my child. No one's going to stand up and say that. And so that's an extreme example.
Yeah.
But you should never just trust someone, even they do the fancy seminars and the emotional stuff, and they'll do the testimonials. That's a challenge. But honestly, that's a scam, but a scam and not a get rich quick. It's the same damn thing.
Yeah.
They use the same tactics: manipulation, emotional, testimonials, exclusivity. Use the same damn thing.
Yeah, maybe you've already answered this question, but people that get in these get rich quick schemes, is there ever a moment of reward? I mean, I think some of it you've mentioned, just the learning from a bad situation and never reaching that point again. Is that the main take home, or is there anything else?
I'm gonna go through all six.
Okay.
So the internet millionaires or whatever. Look at the Facebook guys, right? That wasn't a scheme. I mean, that's a huge success. That's an extreme example, but yes, that's one out there. Second one for crypto. The person who tapped me on the shoulder back in 2015, 2014, whenever Bitcoin was a few $100s. It was, jumped on a trend on something I thought was a get rich quick scheme. He did that. Number 3 was the social media influencing. The Kardashians, look at them. They built that whole, there's a lot of influencers out there. The person who jumped on that we talked about on TikTok trend, who has an unfair advantage, but used that to their advantage in TikTok. Brilliant when no one else was doing it, especially that age group and that age bracket. Brilliant. Fourth one is, what was the fourth one? Multi-level marketing. Yeah, getting in there and doing it for 7-8 years. Dave said it best. Like he said, he knows millionaires. Like I know someone who's on their way to that. They just got, they're very successful. They just got a Mercedes. They're getting all this money, like a few $1,000s a month doing this.
Yeah.
Crushing it. Fifth was the drop shipping. I don't know anyone specifically in drop shipping who's been very successful, but the shirt is a drop shipping business. And They sold $400 million in clothes. So yes, it can be done.
Yeah.
It was a long haul though. 6 is side hustles. That video you played, if you want to get rich quick, that's probably the best way to go based upon your own interest. So if you look at these 6 things, it's not quick.
Yeah. And it seems like timing is everything. You have to
Timing
get
is
in there
everything.
at the beginning.
That's it.
Before the market is saturated,
That's it.
before everybody has jumped on the bandwagon, and you have to be willing to work hard, and you have to be willing to think differently.
Think differently. And so I think AI is this whole new wave. It's kind of like the new crypto, if you would. Oh yeah, it's a coming. And people who are capitalizing it, people get so intimidated by it. I mean, you use it, right? I've been pushing you to use it. If you're married to me, like you're going to be using some AI. You know, I'm an AI enthusiast, and I'm still not done. AI is going to be a huge part of our business model and how we are advantageous in the future. And it's something that will be in our DNA within our business and everything that we do, because it's so powerful. You know, it's a great idea builder, if anything else.
Any last thoughts for this double whammy episode?
Yes, the double whammy. So you got to make sure you do your due diligence with any get rich quick thing. Don't go on the website themselves. Go to other sources outside. Make sure you avoid any unrealistic promises. Value financial education. I think that's the most important thing. If you're going to spend a lot of time and energy into a get rich quick scheme, why not spend that time getting financially literate, understanding what ETFs to invest in? Guys, if you Google the best top 10 ETFs, and if you join some of these Facebook groups, and I'm telling you, it's compounded my knowledge. And I'm embarrassed to say this, but I didn't really join any major financial groups until we started this podcast. And let me tell you this, I am on it. I'm on it. And it's very nice to connect with like-minded individuals. And since I've done that, I have exploded my knowledge, and every assumption I've ever had has been validated. And it's hard and it's tough, but it's real. I'm very involved in these communities.
Yeah, you learn from, and in those communities, other people will probably post where they've made missteps, and they've been duped by some of these get rich quick schemes. And so you learn from other people's experiences. Right,
you do. And I don't think you should go there for financial and health advice. The target audience for the perfect group for that is you have we talk about this a lot. I'm a millionaire because I've invested so well. I've done real estate. I've done so many different things. You know, I've explored every asset, tax, like all kinds of stuff, right? And so I consider myself an expert when it comes to building wealth. I do. And me going into there with like-minded people like me, you couldn't join that and get anything out of it.
No.
You know what
And that's, I mean, I think
mean?
it's similar to to certain groups that I've joined where there are different ends of the spectrum where you're in groups with other professionals, but there's also something to be said about joining groups of people who aren't professionals to learn kind of what because I think they're targeted too. The people that don't have that literacy are targeted. And so it helps you learn more about what some of these, because you have that knowledge to say, this is really messed up. This is unfortunate. And then sometimes you can go on those other groups and be like, don't listen to these crazy charlatans, these crazy people. So I think joining groups at both ends of the spectrum sometimes can be helpful because you can disseminate some of that knowledge too.
And we want to help. And that's the thing that we do is we participate in the groups and we talk about a lot of topics that they're interested in. And we even say, hey, listen, like this is like what I think, but also you can come to the podcast. We explain it more in depth. So that's important. And then we're off on a tangent a little bit, but I think that's really where I want to punch it home, these get rich quick schemes. And I want to do more segments like this because they're so hot right now with the younger generation. You know, like for example, we skipped over the YouTubers, we talked about influencing. We've been talking about the YouTubers.
Some people have this misconception that there's no work involved, and they see the social media or the YouTube, they see the final edited product or the shiny new car, but they think that they're going to be able to just jump on that trend and be able to do the same thing, and that's just not the case.
It's not the case. You have to lean into your unfair advantage, and you have an unfair advantage, pretty significant unfair advantage. You know, you're double board certified, blah blah blah. I feel like I have a little bit of unfair advantage in these areas. So, but we want to share the unfair advantage with our audience, our people. You know, we want people to get rich. We want people to get healthy. We do. This is breaking it down. That's why we spent 2 episodes on Get Rich Quick.
Yeah. But generally, there's not a quickness to either one of those. And that's the whole point.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Right. Well, good. We will see you guys next time on probably another health episode. But until then, a little health,
A little wealth, and a
lot of love. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
He's on the hustle, she's on the grind. There's no time to kill. For saving lives and new deadlines, and there's some holes to fill. With a little health and a little wealth and a lot of love. That's a life that we live. Suits and scrubs.